Hi, thank you for joining me this week. I'm Becky with iHeart Art Studios. Last week's video, I showed you how I was using my drill and I had this table here and it really wasn't a good option for using as a work table. I have been wanting to create a workbench for my garage. I actually just got electricity in my garage. I've lived in my house for 15 years, but it just wasn't a necessity for me. Long story. So I decided I was going to build myself a workbench. Actually, it was a couple weeks ago I was gonna build myself a workbench and then time got away from me. So I have purchased some tools. I was starting to kind of get a plan in mind and, well, okay, so here's the deal. I didn't purchase tools. I purchased some wood. Let me just show you. Going for cheap because I am just on a budget, right? So I got a couple of these 2x4s. And this is a piece of plywood, but it's white. It's actually like shelving. It was just a cheaper option and already finished. And so I thought, why can't I use that to build a workbench? You know, I have a lot of pallet wood that I like to work with. And this is what I currently have my miter saw sitting on. Right here. Oh gosh, it's like this. And this is like an old cart. And it's so old that it was falling apart. So actually, look at what I did to the back of it is I put some wood to help reinforce it. Well, you know, I'm a total DIYer at heart. Like, I feel like you can just rig anything to work for your purpose, right? Anyway, this is not ideal for the miter saw because if I have wood on here and I'm bringing it down and it's cutting it, the wood is going to fall off the edge and it's going to just fly places, and so it's not the safest option out there. And then, you know, I have this table here, which I haven't really done anything with since the last video that you saw. I actually still have the wood sitting on it. But I decided that I was going to be doing some yard work today. It's a cool Saturday in the fall. I'm really hunched down here. I'm sorry, I totally talk a lot, don't I? About random things that you probably don't even care about, but this is just who I am, so, you know, give me a thumbs up if you like that. Or if you're a random talker, why don't you comment below? I'm the same way. I have this need to over-explain things. Okay, I don't know if you have ever heard of the Enneagram, but I am a number 6, so I have the need to over-explain things because I'm so afraid that people just don't understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, anyway. Ooh, and totally no makeup or anything. This is a Saturday me, just working hard in the garage, doing some yard work, getting things done. Anyway, I should show you my garden bench here. Let's just go take a look at it, and I'll talk to you as I'm going. But I hate saying all the time. Okay, so, okay, we're gonna take a little jaunder around. This is the jungle gym that I live in. So there's actually a gate right there, but we're just gonna climb over this little, whew. This is the garden bench that I built this spring actually, and it actually serves as a perfect workbench for the garage. The miter saw would actually fit on there well. And so this is kind of the plan that I'm gonna go with, except I'm not gonna put the back side up on it. So that's kind of my plan. So I did not have my camera, this one, charged and ready to go when I was cutting, and it was kind of a last thought actually, because I'm not quite used to recording myself all the time when I just do random DIY things, because I'm always doing random DIY things. I gotta plug it in so that battery doesn't die. I did record, so you're gonna see a time lapse, but it's from my cell phone cutting up the pallet wood. But at this point, it's hard for me to explain exactly what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna kind of just do it, and then maybe I'll put some narration. I don't know, maybe I'll just time lapse it all and you can just see how I do it. I'm going to be building a bench from one pallet. I also have some pallet wood that I'm gonna be using, but I'm just gonna show you what I have right now. So the time lapse will be right here, and then I'll show you what I'm doing after. So watch this real quick, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. So the wood has been cut. So basically the pallet that I picked, I had to be picky when I picked my pallet wood. Picky pallet wood. Because I wanted to make sure that it had basically two sides that were equal in length, because that is just going to make it easier. So all I did was I took a standard pallet that just had the right amount of 2x4s in it, sliced it in the middle, so that way I ended up with two equal parts like this. See? 1, 2. See, they're pretty equal enough for me. And then I ended up with all these little pieces like this, which I use for the back of pictures. I used my Jigsaw. I love my Jigsaw. I used to use a little Black & Decker, which is perfect for first-timers, beginners, if you are just getting into woodworking. I would highly recommend just getting something cheap to see if it's even something that you're going to enjoy doing. After, well, probably about 10 years, I finally invested in a Bosch Jigsaw. Absolutely love it. It's seriously life-changing when it comes to cutting. I used to have carpal tunnel really bad, and my hands would just fall asleep when I would be using my Jigsaw because there's a lot of shaking that happens. However, I've noticed when I use the Bosch that it really is very smooth. It cuts like butter. It also depends on the type of blade that you're going to be using. I have a hardwood blade in here because I still haven't learned exactly what type of wood is on pallets, but I do know that it is safe to use for projects, and it's worth it. I love my Bosch. Then we'll be using my Bosch drill. I'll show you that real quick too. It's kind of hard to kneel on the cement garage floor here. So this is my Bosch drill. This is why I need to cut and trim videos, is because I don't say words well and I need to think about things, and it's very hard for me to think on the fly sometimes because I'm used to just doing things. I'm not used to explaining them, but I would love to teach you how to do these things because I feel like it's just can be very fun to create things out of nothing or random things. Okay, back to my Bosch drill. I also had a little Black & Decker, which worked well. It had a cord, especially if you're a beginner. Definitely like get something cheap and try it out and see if you even like it. However, I have learned again that this Bosch, it's the GSR 18 volt -190. It has also been life-changing when it comes to drilling because it's just amazing. I used to always have to pre-drill, but there's also some other things that I use that help that I've learned through the years. I really like the Star Bit. Star Bit is one of my favorites. The battery on this, seriously, it lasts forever. I could be like a Bosch salesperson because I love their things. I actually just bought a Bosch sander also, but I haven't had a good chance to use it yet. I actually still like my Black & Decker mouse sander, but I don't know. I like Bosch. I've had good experience so far. But another thing that's also helpful, and it's worth the extra money to purchase these. This is what they're called. Gold triple coated deck screws. They're the fast grip. They are a little bit more, but it also saves, so you don't necessarily have to pre-drill all the time, which is amazing. Easier for me because they just like right in. And you'll see it when I go ahead and do this. Anyway, the other thing I'm going to be using, which I hope will work, are actually parts of a pallet that I have pulled off. Let me show you. Don't mind my crazy mess here. Oh, my cord that's plugging in right now. So I do have a 2x4, but I also have, these might be too short. Because I actually think I was planning to use these, and I cut them. I hope I didn't ruin anything. I might have ruined my plan for this. I might need to go to the store and get some 2x4s. See what I can finagle here. But I would ideally have liked to use these. Oh, this is what I was going to use if I used my, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. See, this is what happens when you don't have a plan and you start something weeks ago and then you finally get to it. You don't remember what you were doing because I didn't write it down. It was all just right in here. Alright, well, I'm just gonna keep on working and you can just kind of watch what I'm doing and I'll try and explain things as I go. How about that? If you want to see more pallet wood videos, let me know in the comments below. I would love that. I like pallet stuff. Might be kind of tricky in the wintertime, but, you know, maybe then I'll have to get my garage insulated and put some heat in here. I mean, I have electricity now, so why not, right? I think I remembered what I was planning to do. So instead of trying to explain it, I'm just going to kind of do it and I'll just show you what the process was. I have 2 of these. I'm going to make sure that part that I did with the jigsaw are both facing the back because I want the cleaner side to be facing forward. Those cuts, they're not super straight, which I'm fine with. This is going to be the front of my workbench. I'm going to set it like this. This is going to be the bottom. Okay, stay. Now these are going to kind of come like this. Put it so there's a little bit hanging over the end so that way it's got like a little foot. So this is kind of how I'm going to do it. I'm going to screw these parts in and we'll have one side done. I'll still need to cut the other side. Do I? Let me take a look. Are these all cut? Oh, I was thinking. So, oh, look at that. Amazing. These ones are actually nicer, so I think these are going to be the front ones. Ooh. I should probably trim that a little bit because it is kind of uneven. Actually, I think I'm going to have to trim this part off right here. So I'm going to do that quick. I'll trim that part off. Safety first. Ugh. That's good. That was easy. That one part was easy. I can attach my 2x4s.
There was just some shenanigans happening in the neighborhood, so I needed to check on it and make sure that everything was okay.
I am just gonna let you know some of my lengths here. So I have a board here. You can't see it. I'm gonna have to back you up. But my table, my workbench is gonna be 32 inches. So my boards are cut 32 inches. That I'm going to be screwing in with my screwdriver, with my drill, I mean. See here? Screw the top one in first, and I'm going to be using my Fast Grip Gold Premium. These are 9 by 2.5. I want little feet. I want to be able to store things on it. So maybe if I bring it down like this, there'll still be, was that like, oh, 1.5 inches at the bottom. That's probably good, 1.5 inches.
1.5 inches.
Should probably pre-drill, but I'm lazy. Now, if I noticed that the wood was going to start splitting, I would actually stop the drilling. I would back out my screw and I would pre-drill the hole because I don't want to. I only have these 4 2x4s from old pallets that I'm using, and I don't want to lose them. I want to use them. That rhymes. I don't want to. Whatever I just said, it rhymes. I did it. Check this out. I just made a workbench. Look at that. Sturdy here. It's kind of wobbly still, but it will be sturdier. Amazing. And that is how you make a workbench out of a pallet. I finally got everything back right where I wanted. I have my little workbench all set up. I feel like I can finally
just relax because
it is definitely an improvement from what it was. I screwed a board in on either side of the bench, one there and one here. Now it's not moving back and forth anymore. It's close to my outlets. If I need a work surface to work on, I can pull this out. So my rolly cart, I cleaned it up so it looks nicer. And if all else fails and I need to pull out this raggedy table, I definitely can do that. I am super excited about how this is all set up. I feel like it's exactly what I needed for my space. I hope you enjoyed watching how I created a workbench from a pallet. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you like watching DIY and painting things. I love to just be creative, and I hope that you were inspired today to be creative yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye. I can't walk. I hope you enjoyed. I'm an old lady now. I appreciate all of your support so much.